The art of letting go. What the Buddha really taught about freedom. Have you ever wondered why some memories refuse to leave you? Not because they're important, but because your mind keeps refusing to let them go. Maybe it's a relationship that ended years ago, a mistake you replay every night, a dream that never became reality, or perhaps you're still trying to become the person you used to be. Most people believe suffering comes from losing what they love. But more than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha pointed toward a different possibility. What if suffering isn't created by loss? What if it's created by our refusal to accept that everything changes? This simple idea became one of the foundations of Buddhist philosophy. And even today, it quietly challenges everything we believe about happiness. Imagine standing beside a river. You reach into the water and try to hold it. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it escapes through your fingers. Life behaves in exactly the same way. Nothing remains exactly as it is. Youth fades. Friendships evolve. Success comes and goes. Even the emotions you're feeling right now are already beginning to change. Yet the human mind desperately searches for permanence in a world built on change. According to Buddhist teaching, this attachment, our attempt to hold on to what cannot last, is one of the deepest sources of suffering. This doesn't mean the Buddha taught people to stop loving. He didn't teach people to stop dreaming. He didn't ask anyone to stop caring. He taught something far more difficult. Love deeply, work sincerely, appreciate every beautiful moment. But never forget that everything you experience is temporary. Not because life is cruel, but because change is the very nature of life itself. One of the central insights in Buddhism is impermanence. Every joy changes, every hardship changes, every success eventually passes. Every failure eventually passes too. When we forget this truth, we begin fighting reality, and reality always wins. Think about how much of your life happens inside your own head. How many conversations have you replayed 100 times? How many mistakes have you punished yourself for, long after everyone else forgot them? How many futures have you feared that never actually happened? Often, the event itself isn't what keeps hurting us. It's the story we continue telling ourselves about it. Modern psychology describes something similar. Researchers call it rumination, the habit of repeatedly cycling through painful thoughts without finding resolution. Studies have linked chronic rumination with increased stress, anxiety, depression, and emotional exhaustion. The Buddha couldn't have known these scientific terms, but he carefully observed the human mind. He noticed that when we cling to painful thoughts, we continue creating suffering long after the original event has ended. In other words, sometimes we don't suffer because life is difficult. Sometimes we suffer because we keep reopening wounds that are already trying to heal. This is where many people misunderstand the idea of letting go. Letting go does not mean pretending nothing happened. It does not mean forgetting someone you loved. It does not mean accepting injustice. And it certainly doesn't mean becoming emotionally numb. True letting go means releasing the struggle against reality. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every single day. At first, it feels unbearable. Months later, you barely notice its weight, not because it became lighter, but because you've become used to carrying it. Many people live exactly this way, carrying guilt, resentment, fear, old expectations, versions of themselves that no longer exist. The Buddha invites us to ask a question that can quietly transform an entire life. Is this burden helping me grow? Or have I simply become afraid of putting it down? Mindfulness offers a different way forward. Instead of fighting every thought, notice it. Instead of pushing emotions away, allow them to exist without letting them control you. Instead of trying to freeze life in place, learn to move with it. This isn't passive acceptance, it's inner freedom. Because when you stop demanding that life remain unchanged, life loses much of its power to frighten you. Perhaps that's why people who truly understand impermanence often appear calmer. Not because they experience less pain, but because they no longer expect life to stay exactly as they want it. They understand something the rest of us spend years resisting. Everything changes, including this moment, including this pain, including you. So today, ask yourself one simple question. What am I still holding on to? That is no longer holding on to me. A memory, a regret, an expectation, an identity that no longer fits who you've become. You don't have to answer immediately. You don't even have to let it go today. But perhaps, for the first time, you can simply notice how tightly you've been holding it. Because freedom doesn't always begin with changing your life. Sometimes, freedom begins the moment you loosen your grip, and perhaps that is the true art of letting go.